Hey, So Chung here from the Commercial Financing Expert Academy. This video is created in response to a video that one of my colleagues and friend Mike Rosehart has put on the internet regarding whether you should incorporate or not incorporate when you buy real estate. Now, I've always, and he has a lot of good points, which is really good. I enjoy listening to a younger version of me talking about why you should incorporate, which is really cool. I mean, not many 26-year-old kid out there that is knowledgeable as this fellow is, and it's very, very, very nice to see that such an individual like himself has taken the time out to educate himself and to immerse himself in this real estate industry. And he's done very well for himself, and he's surrounded by a lot of people who take his advice, and which is really cool. He shares a lot, so I figured it's a good gesture to reach out and to share this with his followers and with people in my network. If you want to get someone who's inspiring to help you in real estate, I tell you, Mike is one of those people. And he really is, right? So if a young guy who has to start out at 17, be able to do real estate and make the kind of money he's making right now in real estate, that's really cool. Sitting here with Mike, this is a shout out to you, and this video is to help you and as well as the people in your network. Now, I do get the same question because I run the Synergy Real Estate Network and I teach commercial financing. So a lot of times I get clients come and say, "So should I incorporate or should I not?" And to me, I give the same answer as you. It really depends. What are you after, right? But the way that I look at it is this twofold. A, what is the benefit you get from incorporating? B, what is the result that you want to get out of incorporating, or why you should even incorporate, right? So if it is to do with liability and taxes and all that stuff, I said, you know what, talk to an accountant. They'll give you the inside scoop, more detailed than I can. I have my own bias, decision, and reasons for doing it, and so on and so forth. But anyway, this video is not about taxes, not about liability, or about why you get insurance to cover all that stuff or not. It's none of that, okay? So Mike's video has covered that. If you want to check on his YouTube, Mike Rosehart, and I'll put a link as well to his YouTube channel to see about this as well. So to me, as a mortgage broker, commercial financing expert, I look at it in a different way, right? And Mike mentioned it, one of those things was where you get different treatment when you incorporate. And because sometimes lenders also put your personal guarantee on board, so it kind of makes moot point to incorporate for that reason alone. But not all lenders are like that, Mike. Some lenders, if you do incorporate a property, it is not in your personal name, and you do not need to personally guarantee that. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It depends on the lender, right? So I'll give you an example. One of my clients recently purchased 2 condo investment property. Do they need to personally guarantee it? Yes, if it was purchased in the residential name, in their own personal name, they will automatically do that. But in this scenario, she has only income on the residential side. All her income is coming from real estate investment. So she can't qualify for the purchase of these 2 properties that she brought to me. So I told her that the only way to do this is A, incorporate it and put it in a holding company, and if it debt service itself, is easy to get done. And specifically for her reason alone was result. What am I going to get out of this? I want to get these property, but from my personal side right now, I can't qualify for these 2 additional property because they give so many reasons. One of which is heavily reliant on rental income, which is pretty cool, right? When you're an investor, that's all you do. That's a lame excuse, I look at it. But I know how to structure it. So on the result is what she wanted. She didn't care whether it's sole proprietorship or whether it's in her personal name or whether it's incorporated or partnership, doesn't really matter. The result that she wanted was, I want to buy these 2 investment property and get the loan for it, right? So I told her that this is what you need to do. And because of that, my advice, she was able to put into structure into the holding company, change her purchase agreement and everything else to set it so that it's purchased that way. Now the debt servicing side, thank God, because this property was in a high rent area near the university. Therefore, she was able to get enough rent, income, the market rent, and as well as the realistic release that she gets to service that existing debt. So I was able to help her out, and it was easy to get done. Okay, so on the financing side, that's really cool. Now, another one you may want to look at is also if the business owner if yourself, you own an operating business and you have extra amount of money in your business and you want to be able to take that money out to invest in real estate. Now, most people don't realize this is that, yes, they do realize, right? Is that when you put money to business in real estate, you automatically trigger income tax. So it is taxable on every way you wanted to withdraw it. It is dividends, like you mentioned. Yes, you get gross off dividend, all that tax break, but you still get taxed on the full amount you withdraw. And if you put that as a salary income, even worse, right? There is a great option in this scenario alone. If you're purchasing a property and it's taken out from operating company, if you purchase it in a holding company, it is no longer considered a redemption of income towards you to purchase that investment property. Now, basically what it is just a sideways transfer from an operating company to a holding company. So that way, the loan is sort of like a shareholder loan from one corporation to its subsidiary, in other words. So it's just, there's no removal of the money out of the corporation, right? And in that circumstance, they can purchase that investment property in a holding company, and the holding company debt services because the property has enough rent to debt services, and therefore they have their own separate tax write-off, separate everything, liabilities and all, etc. Right? It is very important in this scenario too, because that is a totally separate issue rather than attach that to the operating company, which will affect liability. I understand that you mentioned that for incorporating for liability purposes in the personal side, yes, that may be the case. But when you have an operating company and you're taking funds out to invest in real estate property, it is better and separate the liability issues that's potentially out there when you have it into a subsidiary holding company. So those are the two scenarios that I have seen that I've used up very effectively, and it works well. Because a lot of times I've noticed that people purchase businesses or any kind of extra assets inside their business, inside the current active business. And it really doesn't help, because when they look at the liabilities in the business itself, and then they look at the potential income from the rental property, sometimes it doesn't make sense because the business itself is, in that particular year, is not making a lot of money. It's sufficient to be able to service both debt. If there's any, I guess, the property itself, its debt service is not an issue, right? But the problem is, if the business is low and the income is very low, that is, it's not even breaking even, then this operating company is going to pull down the investment property they're trying to finance, because now the investment property has to prop up the operating company's income. Does it make sense? So hopefully it makes sense to you in that way. So for me, it's not about whether it's tax treatment, whether it's liability treatment. It's all about what is the end result that you want. So for somebody who wants to have it in a holding company, they may have different reasons for that. Perhaps it might have something to do with marital status, right? That's an issue in its own, right? Perhaps it has something to do with, passing the wealth into next generation. If the father is buying the property and the father doesn't want that properties down the road to be given into his estate or anything like that, we pretty much might have to set it up in a separate holding company and have the will written up, or else have the trust set up for that holding company to be able to do something with it in a specific way. Lawyers will be involved in all that stuff, right? So that way it actually takes it out of their own personal estate holding, right? So that on its own is, you have to talk to the lawyer and a tax specialist to find out what the benefits on how to do that in the scenario. Okay, so I just want to say thank you, Mike, for being a great share of information, knowledge out there to help all the real estate investors to help them grow in portfolio and eventually maybe leave a lasting legacy and intergenerational wealth. And that's what I plan to do with my family too, right? It's very cool to share this information. So I figured this is in addition to what you currently have with your network. I like to share my part, my knowledge, and to help benefit your people as well and my own network as well. Thank you. So if you have any comments, just comment below on this in this channel. And if you have any questions, feel free as well. Just reach out to me, Sue at sharingbanksecrets.com, SUA, sharingbanksecrets.com. Take care and see you at the top, guys.